Hi everybody, it's Claire back with another art journal video, and it's a neon one. So this is a journal page from a while ago. I'm always a little bit behind with editing my videos, I think. Yeah, so apologies that this is not like a mega current page, but it's still useful for you guys to see. I've started off with a layer of clear gesso. The reason for that is I'm going to be using the neon scribble sticks, and I wanted them to not disappear into the surface of the journal. So adding that clear gesso just means that they're going to play nicely and not disappear. So I'm going to get a nice vibrant background. So I'm then just scribbling the scribble sticks on. It's a really easy way to do this, just like the harder you press, the more pigment you get on, the more vibrant those colours are going to be. So I'm just adding those colours onto my page, scribbling around in that sort of bullseye pattern, and then I'm going to go on to the next stage. So one thing to remember is scribble sticks don't really like to be written over with paint pen once they're on your page. It just makes the pens they don't really like to write on them. So one way to work through that is to use paint over the top. And on this page, I'm going to be using a really cool masking technique. It's one of my favourite things to do. So just kind of blowing the excess scribble stick away. I'm pretty sure I didn't water activate these colours. I just left them as they were. I quite liked the kind of scribbly marks that they created. This is my Shoot for the Stars text stamp. I'm just adding a bit of text over the top. That's just to create a little bit of extra interest on the page before I go in with the next stage. And then of course this is my dotty stamp, famously black dotty stamp, because I've used it so much. One of my favourite tools. So you can see now I've got my paint, my scribble sticks and my mark making on top of there, keeping it quite simple really. And then I'm just grabbing these masks. So I had to buy myself some new ones of these because I lent my other ones to a friend. So I'm just going to pop these onto the page, and I'm going to use, I think that looks like black. Yeah, black or night, or even blackberry, perhaps sapphire. Any dark colour, marine, would work really nicely as a contrast with those bold neons behind. This is one of my favourite techniques ever, creating these masks, masked shapes, where you're never quite sure what glimpse of the background you're going to get through until you lift the mask off. So yeah, creating that kind of real pop of colour, it just brings the focus in to that area where the masked shape is. And I'm just going to carry on building up those areas. You can see I'm just using a kind of pouncing motion with the blending tool just to get the paint on, because it does, if you swoosh it around when you've got the scribble stick underneath, it will just move the pigment around. And you can see in a couple of places it's kind of been a bit awkward getting on, but I think you can just go with it. It doesn't matter. It creates that extra layer of texture. I found then that the more paint I put on my blending tool, the easier it was to cover. However, then of course you can get the paint bleeding through the blending tool onto the kind of Velcro part underneath. But I kind of quite like the fact that you can see, even on some of the masked areas, you can see little glimpses of the scribble stick colours coming through. They're just kind of creating different depth, I guess, with those effects. Then I decided I would go in with a slightly lighter colour and just pop these leaves over the top. So I'm kind of creating masked layers. I'm not sure why the camera's doing that. Apologies, I don't know. It was obviously struggling to focus. And I'm just added a little bit of white to the black just to create a different tone. So I've got like a little bit of grey, and I am masking over the top of the ones that I've already popped on there. And then once it was properly dry, I'm then going in with a Life of Colour paint pen in white. just to outline those shapes. You need quite an opaque paint pen for this, and the Life of Colour ones are very good for this, as are the Posca pens. But because this is a brush tip and you haven't got to prime it to get it working, it is much easier to get that colour onto the page. And you can see I'm just turning the book just so that I can reach the areas without smudging my hand over everything. And even though I've masked over this shape, I'm still drawing it in. So what that's going to do is push that grey masking into the background a little bit more and pull these flower shapes forward. And this is a way that you can play with the layering on your page, is that even though I put that grey masked layer on last, it's now not the focal point, it is more in the background. Okay, so it looks like I'm going to do some more stamping. Of course, more dots. We have to have more dots. I just love adding dots. I don't know. I think it helps edges blend. Just creates that lovely look to the page. Then, of course, some white circles to stamp on. Just using an old cardboard tube for this. Have a little selection, different sizes. One of the many boxes of bits and bobs that I can't throw away. I think doing this as well, stamping some white on, just helps ramp up the contrast on the page too. This is an old paint brush tube, which brings a nice little circle as well. So I'm just stamping a few of those on there. It's a nice alternative to adding splatters, although I may still add splatters. Oh yes, I may still add splatters. I'm going to add splatters. Here they come. Just a few with my small fan brush, trying to stop it going on my laptop. Unsuccessfully. Yeah, anyway, never mind. Yeah, so a really easy page to create actually, because all you've got on the background is the scribble sticks and the stamping, and then just masking over the top creates a really effective page. And then just popping a quote on. This is from the typed ledger papers from Dina Wakley. Sorry, I should have said that the masks were from Dina Wakley as well. They're either called Growing Things or Things That Grow, something like that. She has quite a few in her line, and they're all really lovely, pretty shapes like this. And there we go. That is the finished page. Oh, then of course, yeah, some neon gloss splatters as well, just to completely go crazy with the neon. This is a nice way to just add a little pop of extra colour. Not that this page really needed it, but yeah. And there it is. There's the finished page. So it's fun sometimes to grab those neons and go a bit crazy with lots and lots of colour. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you again soon.